Indeed, but it is going to be Srey versus Shoddy's Hotties on Braxis Holdout. The draft is up. Both teams have readied up, and we're going to start to see what they're going to prioritize. Falstead instantly banned out. And I was going to say, the map, on a two-lane map, it's almost always been optimal throughout all of HOTS's history to go 4-1 with a single global, ideally, so that as soon as you win the 4-man, you can send one person instantly to the other lane and dominate that lane as well. So both teams going to, I think, be focusing on that dynamic.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with the Falstad ban on this map. Just with it being a smaller map, it's just like the global is nice, but the rotation isn't that hard to make without flying.
Ooh, and Medivh picked
First
up.
pick Medivh.
Fun fact about Medivh, if you take the increased portal range at level 13, you can portal directly from one cap point to the other cap point.
What?
Yeah, the range is just enough to completely bypass the boss pit if you put it in the right underneath where the cap point is. And you can have your whole team just going back and forth between the cap points.
Wow, that is so cool. That's just one of those things where you're just like, yep, that gives this character so much value on this map. That seems like way too big of a space. Like, it's one of those things I'm like, I don't believe you until I see it.
It actually happened today in the Machines of War event in Denial versus GFE, so a lot of people found that out today.
Oh,
they did.
No, so that's going to be like the meta on this map.
I discovered it on PTR. I was really happy to see someone else doing it in a live game, but it's pretty scary. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, well, that's a darn good reason to get yourself Medivh early on in the draft, so, well, normally I would be like, I'm not so sure about this. Yeah, I understand it now. And of course, they can just put Cure on Medivh, who was so good on it in towers. Works perfectly for them.
It does. And Shawnee's Hotties is debating. They're like, what do we do to counter Medivh? They're actually using up a lot of their time pool discussing it. They do lock in Ariel.
The knockbacks, right? That's where you gotta go.
And the damage over time so that Force of Will's value gets significantly decreased.
Mm-hmm. That's very smart. Yep. So as you throw the Force of Will on somebody, it expires a few seconds later, that entire dot still stays on the target, and they keep taking damage. So your Force of Will just, it's like you said, just loses a lot of its value overall. Still good, though, to enable a Bruiser or something to go in and do a bunch of damage. At this point, with Ariel and Lunara picked up, I actually wouldn't mind seeing Illidan.
I wouldn't mind seeing Illidan. I mean, Illidan's one of those heroes that gets very enabled by portals, by Force of Will to deny a kill on him. He can use his healing over time. Force of Will essentially becomes a hot because it heals him as he's healing himself.
Did your cat just knock a bunch of stuff over?
No, he's playing with the bag.
Oh, okay. It just sounded like something collapsed, and it's just one of those things where I can just imagine your cat, like, just pushing, like, a giant stack of books or something off of a table.
No, that's just one bag. He's just a very hyper cat. Awesome. Everything he does is magnified in terms of volume for some reason.
Yeah, well, he's gotten stimmed around.
Indeed. And Brightwing Hammer locked in. Brightwing's healing over time is, a really good solution to Lunara's damage over time. And if you're winning a lane and Hammer's just sitting there crunching structures, there's really not much you're going to be able to do against her unless you pick up something like a Stitches or a Chromie, someone who can really punish Hammer if she's standing still.
Yeah, and I like that, especially with Lunara and Ariel being picked on the other team, two characters who can't really commit very hard to a fight. I think it actually makes a lot of sense. And I've dealt with Hammer on this map in particular, and it is just so annoying to deal with. Because she just sieges up on that point, you have to move into her, and that's usually what you're trying to avoid. But if you play this map intelligently, you have the two different points that you can go to. So as long as you aren't trying to just charge into whatever spot that Hammer's on, a lot of times you could still do a pretty good job of just out-rotating her instead of trying to directly confront the sieged up Hammer.
In some cases, that's the best thing to do. I mean, I think it's literally in the art of war, fight where your opponent is weak, not where your opponent is strong. There's always an opportunity to take a fight in a different place in Heroes of the Storm. There's usually not just one path to victory. If your opponent's winning an objective, you can still go get a building. If there's a double objective at any point on Dragonshire and on Braxis, the best example of this, you have to cap 2 points. If you just hold one of them, you're in good shape. And if you just keep out-rotating your opponent, you can eventually eke out a lead and catch someone out of position. But you have to be really on the ball with your map awareness for that to happen. And
you need a good shot caller.
But his name's literally Shot.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's like Shot, might as well just be a caller. So now I like the Johanna pick though, because I feel like having those blinds against Sergeant Hammer is going to be really crucial. It's a nice pick there. Oh, Stitches. Okay, Stitches with yeah, pairing it with Medivh is nice because you can just gorge somebody and walk through the portal.
As Halloran dubbed it, the milk carton combo. You get abducted, and next thing you know, your face is on a milk carton. Where'd he go?
Yeah, exactly. Oh no, Cavalier, do you see what's being hovered?
I do. I see the Alarak. I don't know, but again, it's one of the position. Whenever you're up against heroes that are extremely dependent on positioning for their safety, knocking them out of position is really good. And Alarak has an ability that allows them to do that pretty effectively. It looks like they're not going to risk it. They're going to swap over to Li Ming, play a little bit safer.
I was going to say, I mean, Shot's team has been running all in aggressive, like one combo, win the fight engages all day. So it wouldn't surprise me even that much to see them do that. But they're going to play it safe and just pick up a little Li Ming and nice little spell chucker to round out the comp.
And she does have incredible range. She's one of the few heroes that can punish a sieged hammer. As long as, Li Ming's around, you can't really siege up his hammer, which means you're not going to get that value. Zagara picked up as the solo laner, so that's going to be a Zagara Thrall matchup. I'm curious to see what that looks like post-patch at this level of play. And I think that Stitches was a denial ban, to be honest. I think they didn't want Stitches to be up against Hammer. They didn't want to risk that, the hook just eating Hammer over and over and over again.
Yeah, potentially, but of course Stitches does a great job with Hammer because he's a good tank to just have as a solid front liner because you want the other team to attack Stitches instead of your Hammer. And just keeping him in the front line, he can run the Gorge there, just have the constant threat of hooking somebody in and then gorging them. And then the other team has to move into Hammer's range, which is exactly what you want if you're on Srey's team here.
I agree with all of that, and I really think Srey is... looking at these drafts, I'm going to say Srey is going to take this match 3-0. I don't think Shot has a very good chance of winning on Brax's holdout with this composition against that, because that's just all sorts of scary.
One thing, okay, I'm going to point out something that I think gives a little bit of an edge to Shot, is that they have a jungler, while Srey's team, while Brightwing might get Bribe, I do think getting the camps on this map gives you a nice bit of an advantage, and just being able to create that extra pressure for you to cap these spawns.
I agree with that, especially the Bruiser camp is actually scary. The triple Goliath plus the Raven with the Hunter Seeker can actually chunk out waves so fast and then do a significant amount of siege damage.
Yeah, and I feel like what's going to happen is Srey's team is going to constantly be pressing the issue by just sieging up in front of towers and just sieging down these walls in the beginning of the game that it's going to be difficult for Thrall to sneak off and get camps taken.
Of course, if you're winning the lane, there's seems to be some debate about exactly who's going to be playing Johanna.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we haven't gotten going yet, guys, but 10 out of 10 players ready. We'll be starting momentarily.
That's part of the fun of PPL. You just, switch roles and do different stuff just to play what you want to play. Because oftentimes there's too many damage players for everybody that's a quote-unquote damage main, assassin main to play assassins. So you got to spread out the roles a little bit. That's why the support players are such a hot commodity.
Because apparently there aren't very many of them. And I don't know if that's because there's not that many support mains in this game, or there's just not that many support mains who made it to Grandmaster.
Yeah. That's true. Like, most people are just like, yeah, man, I couldn't quite get to Grandmaster, but then I just switched to Li Ming, and now it's pretty easy. You just be so much more impactful in, like, Hero League and stuff. But that's the thing. That's one of those reasons that PPL is a healthy part of the community now, is because these guys can actually practice supports in a controlled environment where you're against good players and you have good players on your team that you can trust to pull their weight.
Agreed, but we're getting into this game.
Yes, we are, and on the left-hand side, it's going to be the blue team. It's going to be the Srey base, and Srey's going to be on Stitches this game, Prismat on Hammer, Toon Slim on Brightwing, Cure on Medivh, Yoda on Zagara.
And for Shotties Hotties, we do have Shot on Thrall, Nazmas on Johanna. Interesting switch up there. Yeah. Lightsy on Li Ming, Iakona on Ariel, and Taliant on Lunara. I guess they weren't satisfied with Shot's tanking, or Shot wanted to switch it up a little bit and be the solo laner.
That feel when you put your assassin on Johanna. But sometimes somebody's got to fill the role. And I know Shot plays a great Thrall, so it definitely is reliable to hit those high-impact sunders.
And both teams going 4-1, but going to the opposite lanes. I wonder if they're going to rotate around and who's going to like blink first in terms of pressuring this one lane.
So it looks like Zagara is going with the volatile acid build. It seems like most people on NA are just favoring. Oh my gosh, Srey with a great save there for letting Prismat get a couple extra hits on there, and they definitely knew that was coming. That wasn't like Srey with a clutch move. He was predicting pulling Prismat there. Nice strat there to get some damage on the tower at bottom.
That's a cool little tactic. I hope they exploit that more all game long, to be honest, because that leaves Hammer so safe to siege up wherever, as long as Srey's sitting there in the back with the hook.
Yeah, beautifully done, and now it's going to be a 3 versus 4 or 4 versus 4 on bottom. But I mean, really, Medivh is just all over the place. Taliant gets pulled in here, takes a bit of damage. Nazmas trying to get in there and clear the wave. That's going to be where they really struggle, is to... They have to have Nazmas basically move up and clear these waves. And I feel like it's going to be so much easier for Srey base to just constantly get the initiative on clearing the wave and then sieging up. So see how that progresses here in the bottom lane.
And we've seen how much Srey loves playing Johanna. He's so good at playing Johanna. And whenever you're really good at a hero, you also know what's really good against a hero. So by picking Johanna into Srey's team, Srey's gonna be like, oh yeah, I know how to deal with that. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll just take this, this, and this, and there's no way Nazmas will get the value that he wanted to get from that pickup.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought that was kind of cool that they moved down and took the globe. You know, it's something that I feel like will become more emphasized, but it's the only map that has something like this where there's just a random globe there on the bottom of the map that you go snag, you know? And it's cool to see that.
And it's about sustaining in lane, and sustaining in lane matters a lot on this map, because if you're winning the lane, you will eventually win the capture point as well. It's just, and we do see a slam build stitches, by the way, so he didn't even need the globe for like Hungry for More or anything. He just wanted it to the Nile and the heal. We also see Regen Master picked up for Prismaticism, so he actually needs the globes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, we just saw there, you know, Srey tanking the damage there. Oh wow, Shot gets the first kill in the 1 versus 1 up at top lane. Nicely done there to take down Zagara, who's being played by Yoda this game.
And look at how far pushed that creep is. Far pushed in that creep is. Even though all that creep on this Zagara for the movement speed increase, he managed to get the root, managed to get the Wind Fury, and just burst her out.
Yeah, man, we've been so focused on this bottom fight that sometimes you forget how intense the solo lane matchup is on the other side of the map. But yeah, they're already at 62%. This is going so quickly. Oh no. Srey's team needs to do something. If they want to stop this, it's going to be at like 100% right out the gate. Okay, they do get top. A little bit of control up there. Now, let's see if they're able to regain a little bit of composure on the map. Just a really nice lane-in combo by Lightsy at bottom to snipe that kill out and get them this huge advantage. So,
and as casters, we can actually see the Zerg holding pen, and 82%. You can see what that looks like. Ultralisk, 2 Guardians, like 3 Hydras, 4 Hydras, a bunch of Banelings. That's a scary wave. If that comes out and they're not ready for it, it's going to do so much damage.
Not to mention, Shots team also with a bit of an EXP lead now. They're going to have level 7 right around the time that they cap this. Which is very key to have a little bit of an extra talent advantage there. So the portal's being used here as Kiri is trying to jump in and get a little bit of harass. But we're seeing this comp really struggle to deal with how much healing Iakona is putting out. I think that's the problem here. Iakona is just healing so much.
And that's the advantage of that synergy of Lunara plus Ariel. Ariel will just simply never run out of energy. Or hope, as it is called for her. All these hero-specific names.
So they were able to get 100% here, and now we see the Zerg charging out of their pen up at top lane. This extremely scary wave is going to start doing work. And the bottom wave really didn't do anything.
No, it's already gone. It's actually just already gone.
There's like 1 destroyer still, and that's it, man.
Prismaticism is here, though, sieged up, and the Hammer gives you a super strong defensive advantage on this map. You see how fast it melts the Ultralisks.
And yeah, it's just like StarCraft, right? It makes perfect sense. You know, you run Hammer on this map because you're against Zerg, and that's the ultimate counter to these Zerg pushes.
And Siege Tanks apparently can shoot up in Heroes of the Storm, even though they can't shoot up in StarCraft.
Oh, that's true!
So they are good Guardians as well.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's like a little microcosm of the TVZ matchup, you know? You get the sounds in the game and everything. This map is just beautiful. I'm so excited to see everything else from this expansion.
And surprisingly strong defensive. They only ended up getting the wall in the top lane despite all of that pressure and the well. Getting the well is actually critical, especially since this is the solo lane. Yoda's going to be under a lot more pressure if he gets chunked out. He's not going to have tap fully available.
Yep, and this is going to be just a matchup for a while here up at top. Kira's in a little bit of trouble here. He's got a Force of Will, but he's going to still take some poison damage. They're just trying to regain some composure here. This entire wall got destroyed. That's actually pretty insane how well they defended. I don't think we gave him quite enough credit, but that was a full Zerg bar there, and they were able to defend that pretty easily, so nicely done.
And that's the advantage of massive sustained wave clear on this map. If you do lose the objective, you can actually clear it out and not lose too much, but you can't do it more than a few times. After a while, you run out of buildings to hide behind, and the enemies can push in with the wave and start picking you off, and then the wave clear doesn't matter.
So we've heard the community obviously be a little bit up in arms about the snowballingness of this map and everything, but I feel like that's a pretty good example, you know, of, I mean, it got a front wall, right? Like, they didn't lose the game off that or get like pushed into their keep. So
no, I mean that's what a Punisher or Immortal on BOE gets. It's what a Punisher on Shrines gets. It gets the front wall. That's a pretty reasonable amount of damage.
I did have the hammer and Zigar, a pretty nice team to defend. Probably best case scenario in terms of draft to defend this. Maybe a Kael'thas or something would have been a little bit better for them in terms of defending, but my point is, with a couple good defensive clearing tools, you can definitely weather the storm when the Zerg gets spawned.
You see Prismaticism abusing his siege mode, getting that top wall as well. So now a wall down for both teams. And it's just the benefit of being hammer. You just get to, if the enemy team is doing a camp or something, they're not in the lane, you can just get free structures.
Yep, exactly right. And to start things off, looks like, Yoda's hoping, he was kind of wishing Brightwing maybe didn't TP out there. I don't know if you caught that, but Brightwing was TPing out just as Yoda got hit by the Feral Spirit and took a ton of damage. So already we're going to be ticking up on the beacons here for Shot's team is getting the advantage here. And this timing Cavalier, I'm worried about it because level 10 plus the Zerg Swarm here, this could be the massive push that really messes this game up for Srey's team. I mean, dealing with the ultimates and dealing with the full Zerg thing.
That's going to be very difficult. And it can't force them off this point. Johanna is like a brick wall. You just can't get her to go away. They can't force them off this point in the top lane. They're trying so hard with Hammer. They're trying so hard with Stitches. And Sunder comes down instantly as soon as Shot hits level 10. But Force of Will is here to save Yoda, and he's going to get out of there. Force of Will was absolutely clutch there. And Toon Slim with the global, they're going to get a kill. He's a kill on Shot here. Eventually,
1 for 1 out of this. Yeah, Shot really is doing a great job this game. I mean, even though he died up there, like he was just all in committing basically and being extremely aggressive and just looking for kills. So you can't really fault him too much for that. And the thing is though, when you're playing against a Brightwing, Srey just gorged and bottom. He's gonna jump in the portal, throw him under the keep. Oh, that's just Johanna though. Doesn't really count for much.
Nazmas is going to be actually fine. You can see Srey's very confused. He's like, "What? How did you just left? What? I invited you over for dinner and you just left?"
Yeah, he's just like, "Peace, I'm out." So now the swarm is starting to grow quite massive here. Few percentage at least for Srey's team. They're showing a little bit of life here. There's another hook. Leyline Seal. They're looking for a big engage off of this. Nice maul out of that. That's both people in there. So do they finish up the Lunar or the Johanna here? Let's see if they split targets a little bit. You see both of them getting really low. That's a tough call. Can Srey
they tried to do both, but they ended up getting neither. And this is when your eyes get too big for your stomach. It's really important to focus fire on one target, to call a target and be like, everyone killed this person. If you get the other person later, that's great. And they tried to portal after the Johanna and they ended up missing the hook. So instead of one, they got none.
Feels bad, man. So now, Shot's team isn't going to be able to get that huge power spike that they wanted. They weren't able to make the level 10 plus the swarm happen. Instead now, the game is swung a little bit back over in advantage of Srey's team as they get this nice healthy swarm. But both teams are definitely going to get a good bit of push value out of these Zerg swarms.
Prismaticism in the top lane actually ended up getting that entire wall before this really even came out. Taliant was cute. Leaping strike tactics, tried to take out Prismaticism by jumping over the minion wave into him, but Prismaticism was like, no, I'm just going to pop her state and back up. And Lunara ends up going down with all of the clever tricks.
Yeah, clever tricks indeed, thanks to Medivh. And look at Lightsy there doing her best to try and drill down all of the Surge Swarm. Oh, and another kill there on the Iakona. Now shot. Cure's making the fight continue here with Leyline Seal. I find it so interesting how Leyline Seal has become like the more popular choice in competitive now. And
I think it's the playmaking potential, right? The ability to just secure so many kills.
Yeah. Yeah, and I just think it's cool though that for Medivh, I mean, both of those ultimates are valued so highly by players. And like we already saw Polybomb win games today. We're now seeing Leyline Seal do a lot of work. And you know, shout out to Blizzard to making a character with 2 very impactful ults for different situations. I love to see that.
I agree. There's not a lot of heroes that actually have 2 ults that are both considered, you know, top tier and viable in different situations. Medivh is certainly one of them. Cure, however, is going to go down. Emerald win for the disengage. Toonslim might actually be out of here. Srey as
Yoda
well.
Beautifully peeling for himself there with a maw. Nicely done. But this leaves Shots team in a really bad situation here. They've lost their top wall there, and now they pretty much just have to try and find a fight. They are going to be 13 here, though, so staying relatively close on the same tier. And they haven't lost any keeps or anything yet, so... But now, this is that point in the game when some of the outer keeps start getting, outer forts, I should say, start getting destroyed. You just start wondering who's maybe taking boss, and make sure you have good vision on the boss. That's one thing that's really nice about having the Zagara and a Medivh on your team. You basically never really have to worry about that. But on Shot's team, they might have to start paying a little bit more attention to Boss Pit.
Yeah, we do see a creep tumor hanging out right there. Wisp is the only thing that Shot's team really has. I imagine we're going to see Wisp hanging out mid for a lot of the rest of the game, just in case something like that has them. But both teams just grabbing camps, painting the map their respective colors, trying to get the lane pressure, trying to hunt for a little tiny advantage for one person being out of position, pushing their lanes in, giving themselves even more vision of the map. And this is one of the things, about having your lanes pushing. You get so much vision. Prismaticism just cheesing the top, clearing that camp basically for free.
Yeah, pretty much here. Oh, Srey! Srey get a Gorge? Oh, and the Leyline Seal right after! That was beautiful! Oh my god, I love that combo. You get the Gorge and then throw out the Leyline Seal. It's just like a VP, but normally a VP wouldn't have been able to hit all those people.
Yeah, because they're going to collapse, right? They're like, oh my god, I got Gorge, we got to go save our teammate, and then they're all lined up, and Leyline Seal comes out, and you're like, oh, I guess we're not saving them after all.
Yeah, it's perfectly countering the like Congo line people do of like, panic, like get in there and help him. Oh my gosh, another 2 kills there for Srey's team.
Oh, first whiff maw of the game.
Yoda's been on point, and that's one of those situations where you throw out an aggressive maw just to try and get some more kills and try to stagger the deaths even harder. Whether you hit the maw or not, you already won the fight though.
Agreed. And Prismaticism just forcing Shot back in the top lane and just getting this fort for free. Just hammer things over and over and over again.
Shot. He's got to completely retreat. Oh no! He's gonna actually. Oh, there's the Sunder. What's Prismat gonna do here? He's got some help coming down. He's turning now on to Taliant. Hammer's a beast now.
The Gorge for the peel. Force of will. Taliant's gonna go down. Aegis actually saving him for the moment. And nope, not enough. Does end up getting erased as soon as that is over. And Cure is carrying this game on Medivh. Like,
he's playing
so
out
many
of
close
his
stats.
mind right now. Is that Rich on the Medivh there? That's incredible. Shot now. Stuck in this corner. Yeah, you don't. He's really wishing he's the one with Medivh on his team right now, looking for a portal to maybe take him over the wall.
Another Leyline Seal securing another kill on Lightsy. Just goes down again.
You know, I just want to point out, by the way, look at that huge space, like on the bottom of the map, right? You know, if you like follow below the fort, kind of like that whole area. There's just so much space down there. It's just weird to see that. Like, there's so much room that you can like corner people down in there and stuff. And that's something a lot of times, like, you know, you see the outer walls and that's pretty much it. So now they're going to be heading up here just to get this boss. I'm like looking at a little corner of the map while they're doing boss. I'm like, focus on this, guys.
They positioned the boss correctly. For the record, it was facing the correct direction, so no reveal, but I think it was pretty obvious where they were regardless.
Not much Shot team can do about it at that point with level 16 and everything. Every time I see that thing come in and like land, I think it's going to pick up the team and like take them somewhere.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, like you can use like a one-time metapact effect to like fly somewhere. Pretty cool.
That needs to be a feature in a later StarCraft map, but another hook into Gorge.
Yeah, let's focus on the fight. Nice Gorge there. Immediate follow-up. Let's see if the Leyline Seal combo can connect again. Actually, it's down for 10 seconds here, so they can't use it. But a beautiful Emerald win. Everything is just on point here. Srey's
The only
team,
person left alive is in a maw. That's
it.
not going to go well.
Look at this Zerg Swarm Plus boss. That is absolute doom push here. That's exactly what we're talking about. Once you get this, you're done for.
Yeah.
This is like
and
two
and
versus
isn't
two.
it nice to see the Terran and the Zerg working together for a common goal?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like when you play 2 versus 2 ladder, and it's like the TVZ matchup. You know, mech plus what are they called? The Hydras? No, Ultras. Yes, mech plus Ultras is like possible to deal with. And GG, that's gonna be it. Srey's team is gonna take it 3-0 in the best of 5. They really earned it. I mean, they played great. Cure showing why Medivh is an amazing character. And yeah, it was just really nicely done across the board today.
Yeah, and we talked about this at the beginning. Everyone in PPL is a really good individual player, but sometimes team synergy just works out a little bit better depending on who's playing who. And I feel like Srey's team just had better team synergy. Their comms were cleaner the couple times we dropped into them. And they were confident in what they were doing. They knew in some cases like that people were going to do their job and they could focus just on what they were doing and win just by doing that.
Yeah, right, exactly. And it always felt like Srey's team kind of went into matches with sort of a game plan. They kind of knew what they wanted to do, whether it was to run more of like an isolation pick comp with Stitches or to have more poke or like a siege comp with Hammer. They just sort of like knew what they wanted to do. And what we saw throughout the day from Shot's team is running more of aggressive, full-on engage type comps, or like one combo, pure aggression. You know, ETC Kerrigan, ETC Muradin, just like comps that have to make something happen right away. Actually, it was ETC Arthas, I think. But same point, basically just comps that go in there and have to get a kill right away to win the fight.
And I think that's just the advantage of having someone who's very experienced with drafting. Srey's been around for a really long time. He's has a wide, a variety of knowledge about what heroes are good at what things. And I think he at the start of every draft had a plan for what he wanted to do 100%.
Yeah.
And he stuck to the plan. And
I feel
it helps
like
a lot.
The theme of the day was hard engage, bursty comps versus counter engage comps. That's kind of what I was seeing. Throughout the day, Srey's team running counter engage, break the momentum of your fight, reset the momentum, and then slowly eke out the win. And then every time Shots comp was just like, go and kill him, like literally smork every time. And ended up working out for Srey today. So maybe counter engage is the way to go.
Well, I mean, counter engage is the way to go if you draft wave clear. I think that's a really important element to talk about, because if you don't have wave clear and you're waiting for counter initiation, all of the tempo, all of the decision making is on the enemy team. Yeah. They can take a fight whenever they want. You're never going to be able to pressure them. If you have wave clear and you have counter initiation, then you can just constantly clear waves and rotate, and you end up putting so much pressure on them that they not only start to think they have to make something happen, but they actually have to start a fight, which is what they want to do, but they're not doing it in a situation where they can do it whenever they want to. They're doing it in a situation where sometimes it's going to be favorable for you and not them.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's like when you end up forcing like an ETC to be stuck clearing waves. That's the dream. That's where you know you've really won the fight.
Or when a support is solo laning.
Oh,
that was always Dreadnought's indicator of how he's losing.
That's how
whenever Dread was solo.
Dreadnought's ultimate tilt fest when we'd be playing and he's just like playing on Uther and he's like, I want to be part of the room squad. He'd be so mad if we put him in the solo lane. You can probably hear me right now talking smack about him. But yeah, definitely true, man. Just having that wave clear, controlling the lane phase is really what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So congrats to Srey's team. Thank you all for tuning in today. Shout outs again to our sponsors Viforce, Vertigear, OCZ, and HyperX. Thank you for making this all possible. And thank you to Panda Global for hosting this wonderful event and having us be casters. Thanks for joining me as a co-caster today, Cavalier guest. It was a blast, man.
I had a great time. Thank you
I know we're going to be doing more of this in the future, so I look forward to seeing everybody again. I promise as I get a little bit better at the production and stuff, I will be better. I apologize so much for that one time where I jumped into comms during the team fight and it was just dead silent. Oh my God.
That's the benefit of doing it live, though. You guys get to experience these mishaps with us, and in some ways that's actually more fun.
Yeah, hopefully I think that was a little bit of a funny moment for you guys, but anyways, we'll see you guys next week for the next show match, and hope you guys all have a wonderful weekend coming up here. Definitely tune in for Bloodlust, which is going to be going on this weekend. Cavalier Guest, do you have any shout outs or anything you want to do before we sign off?
I don't. I just want to, thank Panda Pro, thank Panda Global for organizing the Panda Pro Ladder. It's been such a good thing for the community, and I hope you guys, continue to watch the streams for it, continue to support it, continue to check out the sponsors, and I'll hopefully see all of you, later on my stream. I cast Panda Pro games pretty much every night at this point, so you get to see more of these players if that's something you want to see.
Absolutely, man. And you guys know, me and Cavalier Guest, both very similar in terms of we make a lot of YouTube videos like analyzing the game. So if you guys want to learn more, just general strategy, in-depth strategy, all of that stuff, check out Cavalier Guest. What's your YouTube channel again?
It's Cavalier Guest. I'm really easy. I'm the same everywhere.
Yeah, same here, guys. If you want to see my stuff, youtube.com/KO, twitch.tv/KO. Follow my stream. Been doing some of the PPL stuff, especially the casting. Even though most of the time when I'm streaming, I do a little bit more Hero League so I can talk to chat. But without any further ado, thank you guys for watching. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I'm going to wait a minute for the stream delay to time out. But
have a good night, chat.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next time. Have a great night. Peace.